More than 100 years have passed since the bloody battles that decided the Civil War, but the military lessons learned are still being taught.
Despite modern technology, battlefield principles remain the same. Our special correspondent Clark Booth explains in part 4 of his series, A House Divided.
Marine training is familiar to us, steeped as it has become in cinema, song, and folklore. The grunt regiments which so colorfully characterize the Marines' jaunty view of themselves also define their image to the world. But beyond the bravura and brawn, there are other, more thoughtful levels of instruction in their war-making manual. The Marines' Amphibious Warfare School at Quantico, Virginia, is where the most promising career officers are sent for 9 months of intense study in advanced tactics. The art, and it is surely that, of arranging and maneuvering units in combat. It is called Battlefield Analysis Study.
Okay, now what's the mission of the Combat Reconnaissance Patrol?
This is the War Games Board, their laboratory. It is a bit of a contradiction in terms, but then if this is not really warfare, neither is it a game.
Have indirect fire result. I don't see a pop-up point for that mission.
You lost one probably on the way out.
Pop-up point for 2 missions.
Commands flow over field phones from a headquarters staff elsewhere in the building. The roll of the dice dictates the variables of battle.
Number 9.
This imaginary skirmish pits a Soviet force against the Marines. But the theoretical scene of the battle is Manassas Junction, Virginia, scene of the battles of 1st and 2nd Bull Run, fought in the summers of 1861 and 62. The textbook for modern war is the American Civil War.
Jackson's flank march at Chancellorsville was a perfect example of mass, that is, concentrating the superior combat power at the decisive time and place, maneuver, the offensive, and of course surprise. All principles of war, all very germane today, all the things that any good battlefield commander wants to accomplish on the battlefield even today.
It is Confederate General Stonewall Jackson who most inspires them. Jackson's daring, vision, stern will, lofty character, and almost eerie sense of mission seems to consume them. His astonishing Shenandoah Valley campaign in 1862 is considered the classic study. He raged up and down this lush and so paradoxically peaceful Virginia breadbasket, alternately baffling and bloodying Union forces 4 times larger.
We spent some time going through the Valley campaign, showing how Jackson used his assets of superior reconnaissance, of a better knowledge of the terrain, and to strike them suddenly and win a tactical victory over them, and then again disappear and materialize somewhere else. And it's the kind of spirit we'd like to inculcate, if you will, in Marine captains, that they move faster, hit harder, and win against a larger opponent.
Stonewall Jackson was killed here at Chancellorsville in May of 1863. In one of the bitterest ironies of this bitter war, he was slain by the errant fire of his own troops. The very hour of Jackson's death marked the high-water mark attained by the Confederate forces. Chancellorsville was their last decisive victory on the battlefield. Jackson, the mystic who fought for the South, even though he loathed slavery, was the one and only indispensable man.
He lived by the New Testament and fought by the Old.
It is clear, then, that the Civil War has a palpable daily life here at Quantico, the very cutting edge of modern times. It is not history here. It is an example that is real and enduring. From the Quantico Marine Base in Virginia, this is Clark Booth reporting.